Welcome to the 8th Annual Location Managers Guild International Pre-Show. Coming to you anything but live from Hollywood, it's Where the Hell is Jim Cashman? And here's your host, writer, performer, commercial icon, wherever the hell he is, Jim Cashman.
Good evening, location managers, location professionals, and friends watching from any number of locations. The countdown has begun. The awards will be given out starting in 30 minutes, hosted by the man 007 wishes he could be, Isaiah Mustafa. I am Jim Cashman, actor, writer, insurance salesman, and Bridgerton butt model. The LMGI did some research and discovered that I was the last white guy in the business named Jim not to have his own talk show. So welcome to Where in the Hell is Jim Cashman? For the next 30 minutes, we invite you to sit back, fix yourself a cocktail or even a mocktail, and let's focus on all things location. Celebrate the where is the theme of this year's show, so wherever you are, join me. We're going to meet some of our great past honorees and a special guest, so I'm so happy to be back. Last year, I was in the actual show. This year, I'm in the pre-show, and next year, I hope the world has changed enough so we can all gather in the theater together. Well, I will no doubt work the event parking cars. And we are so happy to be back in the studio. Everyone feels very safe here today. Thank you to our COVID compliance officer, Mr. Eric Clapton. He shot the sheriff, but he did not shoot the Pfizer shot. Thank you, sir. You're a legend. But whatever job you give me, I will always answer the call because location managers are many of the hardest working and most creative people in the industry. You certainly all added a lot to my own career. On a personal note, I remember one very memorable shoot. I showed up in Paris and reported to my tiny apartment. It was very beautiful. It overlooked the Eiffel Tower, as it seems all apartments in Paris must. It couldn't have been more perfect. Except that the film took place in the Oklahoma Dust Bowl in 1932. See, we didn't have a location manager, and it was a disaster. That is why we need you people. Our nominees this year are off the charts brilliant. Once again, The Handmaid's Tale is nominated. Congratulations to LMGI member nominees Ann Richardson and Jeremy Pinard. That show had some really unique challenges this year. In the past, every season had been shot in Canada. But thanks to the Supreme Court, The Handmaid's Tale now takes place in any town in Texas. In the same category, we've got Hulu's new hit show, Woke. Congrats to LMGI member nominees Kent Spongle and John Alexander. Woke is a great show, and we're all looking forward to season 2, because in 2021, Woke can't be canceled. Everybody loved Netflix hit Bridgerton. The locations were lush, romantic, gorgeous. Congrats to LMGI nominee Paul Tomlinson, whose locations were so stunning, there were moments when viewers actually stared at something besides the actors. So that's because of him. Bottom line, congrats to all this year's nominees. You gave us the most visually entertaining storytelling of 2020. Coming up, we've got some special guests, including 2020 LMGI winner for his work on The Last Black Man in San Francisco, Daniel Lee. Another one of last year's LMGI winners was Perry Mason. We'll sit down with a member of the 4-person team from 2020, Brian Kinney. And we'll meet an up-and-coming internet star who's turned her comic perspective on the joys of being a location professional.
Good evening, officer. Yeah, of course we have a signed release. Locations go to 2, locations go to 2, locations go to 2. Don't touch the walls.
But first, a quick word from some of the great sponsors who make the members' great work and this show possible.
Welcome to Studio Air Conditioning. We're a rentals and sales company specializing in portable air conditioning, heating, and power equipment. Our clients come to us tired of dealing with corporations with late deliveries and disorganized on-site rigs. We have handpicked our management and sales team who specialize in customer service first, and our experienced on-site technicians make sure to take special care with every install. Give us a call today and let us show you why our reputation stands apart from the rest.
Congratulations to all of the LMGI Awards finalists. You all did a great job. And And a big thanks for every location professional for your commitment to excellence across the globe.
The future of film and TV production is in Ontario. We've expanded our studio space to 3.9 million square feet. We've built virtual production sets, Canada's largest backlot, and an unparalleled workforce. Our Ontario Green Screen program ensures a more sustainable industry. We are Ontario, and we're ready to roll.
There is a place where great stories are made. We are a community built by and for makers, thinkers, and dreamers. Here, craft is the pulse of everyday life. We are the gateway to inspiration. We are Trilith.
Watching Where the Hell is Jim Cashman?
And we're back with the exciting countdown to the 8th Annual Location Managers Guild International Awards. I'm your pre-show host, Jim Cashman. How are you celebrating this year's awards? Where exactly are you celebrating the where? Let us know. Post photos of your LMGI celebration to social media with the hashtags 2021 LMGI Awards and hashtag Celebrate the Where. In just a few minutes, the 8th Annual LMGI Awards will begin, hosted by Isaiah Mustafa. This is always a big day for our amazing nominees. We've got some guests who have been in their place. 2 of them were winners from last year's awards, and the third is a comedy performer who's made some videos showing some love to location professionals. Our first guest has served as a location professional and often producer in such brilliant films as Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Venom, and The Last Black Man in San Francisco, for which he won the 2020 LMGI Award for Outstanding Locations in Contemporary Feature Film. Please welcome Daniel Lee. Daniel, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Last year, when you won, of course, it was a virtual celebration, and you had to pre-tape your acceptance speech. Yes. Where were you when you actually found out you won? Were you watching the live stream?
I was having brunch with some of my volleyball teammates.
Oh, really? And word started blowing up and like, see?
Yeah, and then I kind of just stepped aside and looked at it.
Oh,
yeah. But I then after brunch I then watched the whole thing.
That's all thing. Yeah. It's all there. That's very exciting. Did you expect it? Were you all completely just floored, or you just hoped, or were you like?
I was hoping, but didn't expect it, and it was a good thing to have.
How long have you worked in locations?
I'd say first location job 2009.
2009. Yeah. Okay. And now you're mostly based out of San Francisco now,
yes,
correct?
Correct.
It's got to be interesting. One, it's probably the most gorgeous city in America. I'll go on record as saying, but it probably also presents a lot of challenges. One, to find things that haven't been shot a million times, but also and show different sides, but also just deal with the city itself.
I mean the LA is kind of built around filming. You know, people who don't even work in the business, they understand it. They understand how it goes and how it works. I don't really have that luxury in San Francisco. It's very much like a tech city, and I don't know, some parts are challenging just because the town doesn't understand filming. So that has just its own challenges.
Yeah. How would the challenge of COVID in the last couple of years, how has that been in San Francisco?
So actually, I quit the business for about a year. And I was working at a COVID test lab.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and it was good for the time. I was originally part-time, and then I went up to full-time. So in the part-time part of my career there, I was still doing side jobs, and that was actually when I was doing Shang-Chi.
That was a side job?
Yeah, I mean, I still had the COVID lab that I was like responsible for the test site of it, but was still doing full-on Shang-Chi, which was a huge job in San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now since COVID, after that has been the new Matrix, is that right?
Yes. Well, the Matrix was before COVID. I mean, the work of it was before COVID.
Wow.
And then the lockdown happened like right after we finished. Like just now. Like we just missed like dodge bullet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you're going to give us spoilers, you said?
I didn't say that.
No, I think before you said you were going to. He's going to. Just stick around to the end of the pre-show. We're going to do a crawl of all the things Daniel told us about the new Matrix movie. Looking forward, I know you're working on Barry now, is that correct?
Yes, so I'm currently in LA for a few more months.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Is that your first? You've worked on television series in the past, but
yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, this is probably the longest job I've worked in LA, and it's been fun. I have one relative here who I'm staying with, so it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it this time around.
It's probably beneficial for most location managers to have relatives in various cities
yes.
around the country.
Yes.
Hey, I'm in town for just a little bit. I gotta go knock on some doors and see if I can fill. What's the biggest challenge you've experienced as far as going around trying to get on the set help from a resident, a neighbor, someone?
Just getting in the door.
Getting in the door.
Yeah, because I don't want to get into too much of it, but it's sometimes my presence is intimidating to some folks, and I say that to people who know me, and it's funny, but then I'm like, I wish I could just have you explain why that's funny to this homeowner. Explain why that's so funny to this homeowner.
Maybe you can bring them with you. Hi, this is my friend Daniel. He's really nice. He wants to give you money for your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please talk to him.
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you, Daniel.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations on your win last year, I wish you all the success with Barry and all the future location managing gigs. Thank you for being a professional in the industry.
Thank you. Thanks.
Daniel Lee, everybody. We'll be right back.
You're watching the LMGI Awards pre-show.
Welcome back to the 8th annual LMGI pre-show. I'm Jim Cashman, and we are just minutes away from tonight's celebration hosted by Isaiah Mustafa. Our next guest is an actor from San Diego who has created a series of viral videos called The Film Crew that has been embraced by below-the-line crew members throughout the industry, including location professionals. Let's take a look now at the immortal episode, Shit Locations Say.
There's only one bathroom available for crew, and guess where makeup's set up? That honey wagon should have been pumped an hour ago. Only VIPs use the homeowner's bathroom. The rest of you are on your own. I'm not moving the tube hanger. There's no toilet paper. Just use some napkins. There's no bathroom here. Who put tampons in the toilet? Who clogged up the honey wagon? I know it's not exactly the size you wanted, but it's got 5 bathrooms. I mean, there is a bathroom, but we can't use it. Hey, we are not putting the porta potty there. I know where there's a secret bathroom. Come on.
Please welcome Amy LeJoie. Thank you, Amy, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congrats on the success of the videos.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been about a year ago you started them?
My first one came out in June of 2020, so kind of peak pandemic times.
Pandemic, when everybody was very little production was going on.
Exactly.
So did you feel like the videos were embraced by the community, hungry for the life of the set?
They were. It was funny how people had only been out of work for a few months and just needed this. They felt like it was nostalgic. Like, oh, I miss this. And then even it kind of showed the life before even like being back on film sets and having to deal with all the new protocols. It was kind of the happy before times.
Where did that idea first come from?
The first TikTok I did it was kind of copying another TikTok trend, which is basically all that TikTok is. People just like trying to one-up each other with these trends. And I thought, no one's done this thing with a film crew. And I just kind of busted it out, shared it on Facebook, shared it to the Movie Set Memes Facebook page. And next thing you know, I started getting like my notifications started blowing up. So what is happening? No one ever watches things that I make. And then here I am, a year and a half later, I'm sitting here with you guys.
You've clearly a talented actress and writer to come up with all the things people say, but I assume you spend a lot of time on sets because you seem to know each department. I mean, you do them all. Like the production office, crafty, grips, transpose, script supervisor was a really good one. They got a lot of
I have done quite a few things on film sets, but the secret to making them so accurate is I get line submissions from people who actually do those jobs, which has been really fun. People actually, they get excited. Like I get people who just send me lines unsolicited, just like, hey, if you ever do stunts, here's a novel. They're like, thank you. But people just are excited to be represented and they want to get their line in one of my videos, which is really fun.
Just crowdsourced.
So it's a group effort. It's certainly my part too, but they would not be nearly as accurate if there weren't these people who actually do these jobs.
Actually care and find you. How do they find you? They find you just through
usually on Instagram is when I usually will post like, hey, this is my next video. If you want to submit a line, here you could do it. And usually I get people
throw out the net and say, hey.
And then I get people that are like, you should do this one instead. It's like, okay, I have a list. We'll get to you.
I'm working on it.
All in good time.
Yes. You have to plan out your season. You don't want it to. You can't get so much right away. How many have you done now so far? Like all the individual ones, all the individual
I feel like 20 or something.
Really?
Yeah, but there's still so many that I haven't even done directors yet.
You just like have like a call sheet posted and you're just like scratching them off like a serial killer. I did grips. I did.
Exactly.
I did crafty.
Exactly. Oh no, people, they want real specific things. So I've already done a grips one. It's like, but I haven't done dolly grips.
Okay.
So there's the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it gets real specific, real niche. Maybe we're trying to see which ones get the most. Oh, like the dolly grip community is really passing that around.
They're
and
thirsty.
Really subscribing.
They want a video.
For locations in particular, because this is a show for locations. Did you get a lot of help from location managers?
I most definitely did. Yeah, got some great line submissions, and that's what helps me form my characters too. Is just kind of combining some of these lines. Like, okay, these all seem like something that character A would say. What type of person could that be? Is this person really stressed out? Is this person a seasoned professional? Is this person have no idea what they're doing? And just kind of a combination of everything with that.
Do you take suggestions on wardrobe and look? Like
I don't actually.
That's all just you.
Yeah, that's definitely just me.
Definitely a painted on marker goatee. me for this one.
I just take eyeliner.
Yeah.
Which people kind of like. For a while I thought, like, should I try to get some professional mustaches? But that's part of the charm.
It's just like Groucho. Groucho just did like a grease paint mustache. He could have got a fancy one.
It's good enough for Groucho.
Good enough for vaudeville. It's good enough for LeJoie's videos. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on the success of the videos, and we look forward to many more. What's coming? What's coming down the pipe? Not to give it all away, but
for that series, I think the next one I'm going to do are stunt performers.
Oh, okay, good. Oh.
Yeah, that's the one people have been asking for quite a while.
I think there'll be some painted on mustaches and some stubble for that one.
Oh, yeah. And people, you have the character types who, be like a man having to dress as a woman just to play like, oh, we have a little old lady falling down the stairs. And that's actually some burly man dressed up. And just, that's just kind of writes themselves with the comedy.
I imagine after doing this, you're going to be able to hang out with any crew on any set, wherever you go, and you will be embraced. It's like, they'll be like, thank you.
It's a strange feeling. Yeah, these are my people.
Exactly, all of them. You just like actors. You just like live in the characters, and you've lived in all the departments.
Yeah.
Live the call sheet. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Amy. Thanks for coming here and celebrating the location managers and giving them the infamy they deserve.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Can't do without everyone else.
This ain't my first rodeo. Who said you could go in that room? It looked good in the scout photos. We gotta treat this place better than our own. Can I print out the permit in the AD trailer? Of course, I'll see about that. Did someone take a garden gnome from yesterday's location? Well, just don't shoot in that direction. Yeah, they're not turning their music off.
My department needs to park closest to set.
Do they, though? We don't have a permit for that. I'm also a music video director. This location isn't going to work? It's fine.
You're watching the LMGI Awards pre-show.
The future of film and TV production is in Ontario. We've expanded our studio space to 3.9 million square feet. We've built virtual production sets, Canada's largest backlot, and an unparalleled workforce. Our Ontario green screen program ensures a more sustainable industry. We are Ontario, and we're ready to roll.
Congratulations to all of the LMGI Awards finalists. You all did a great job. And a big thanks for every location professional for your commitment to excellence across the globe.
Welcome to Studio Air Conditioning. We're a rentals and sales company specializing in portable air conditioning, heating, and power equipment. Our clients come to us tired of dealing with corporations with late deliveries and disorganized on-site rigs. We have handpicked our management and sales team who specialize in customer service first, and our experienced on-site technicians make sure to take special care with every install. Give us a call today and let us show you why our reputation stands apart from the rest.
Is a place where great stories are made. We are a community built by and for makers, thinkers, and dreamers. Here, craft is the pulse of everyday life. We are the gateway to inspiration. We are Trilith.
where the hell is Jim Cashman?
We are just minutes away from the 2021 Location Managers Guild International Awards, hosted by the man who definitely puts the spice in Old Spice, Isaiah Mustafa. But before this 8th annual celebration begins, we have one more special guest, another of last year's winners. He was part of the 4-person team that won Outstanding Locations in Period Television for HBO's hit series, Perry Mason. Please welcome LMGI Award winner, Brian Kinney. Brian, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for being here, Jim.
Congratulations on the award last year.
Thank you.
Didn't get to thank you in person.
Oh, yeah, no, I appreciate you coming here to thank me.
You're welcome. I had to track you down.
Yes. Nice.
I was talking to Daniel earlier, and so last year was all, you submitted virtually your acceptance with the rest of your team.
Yes.
And then where were you when you actually found out you actually won and they rolled your package?
I was at home with my girlfriend, and there were so many other great shows I really did not expect to win, so I was pretty casual. And then when they won, I was like, call my mom, everybody get calls. So
did you get on the phone with the rest of the team?
We all have those big text groups, so it's like
on the Slack, you constantly blowing up other text groups.
Yes, totally. My data minutes raised during that time period. So,
Tell me about the rest of your team. Who are you, the guys that won, and do you work with them a lot?
Yeah, Jonathan Jansen, Alexander Georges, they're like our 2 location managers, and I've been rolling with them since a show called The OA Part 2 on Netflix. And then we did Perry Mason. Right now we're back on Barry. So they're kind of like my team. They kind of know me, I know them.
And Daniel Lee, who's here, he's also on Barry.
Yes,
so
Daniel is with us.
If you want to see quality locations from award-winning location managers, watch the next season of Barry. You're going to see all the expertise put to work. Right. But for Perry Mason, a different beast, also in LA, but also crime and creepy, but way in the past.
Right.
And it was for Period. So how do you, what do you prefer? Working for in Period television or contemporary?
I mean, I'm okay with both.
Yeah.
But for sure, working Period was like, as a scout, to get my hands into that was really like something. I just knew that we had the potential to make something great or good, so I was pretty happy to do Period stuff. It's a nice challenge.
It's definitely more challenging than contemporary?
More challenging, yes. Because there's a limited, finite amount of real spases, and then you have to be creative to try to come together with the other stuff.
I'm always blown away by that when I watch really good period television like Perry Mason. I'm like, how in the world are there no telecom boxes or cell phone towers in this particular shot?
Maybe that's probably post.
Take them out, paint them out,
yes.
or put a newsboy in front of them. Like.
Sure, yes. Yeah, we've got a few newsboys for that.
Good, just for that purpose.
Yes.
You staying here, don't move, newsboy.
Yes.
Exactly. Or we won't win an award.
Right.
Please, I'm begging you. I gotta impress my girlfriend on a Sunday morning or whatever it was.
For sure.
Yeah. Right. What's next after Barry? Like, what are your?
I don't know. There'll be a break, and then I'll just kind of. It'll be nice to take a break, even though we had that big break during the pandemic. Just coming back to work, it's really about getting back into the mechanics of things. So. I'll probably just take a little break and feel things out and see where it goes from there.
Now, had you started filming Perry Mason before the lockdown, or did it all come after?
No, I think we finished in December of 2019, which is like literally right before January came, and I think everything closed down after that. So
wow.
Yeah, we just got it in right before.
How are you finding it now in the post-pandemic or current pandemic as we are world? How does that change in the job?
It's tougher because I think neighbors are they're a little more hesitant to let you in. So it's a little bit of a conversational piece. And even some big entities, corporations or whatnot, they just have a solid policy of no filming. So sometimes it's, we just have a lower number of places that we'd normally film in during a pre-COVID or post-COVID world, whenever that happens.
Well, thank you for continuing to try. Get us to the entertainment we so value. Need.
Totally, right.
The locations and the shows, because we got to watch our shows now more than ever.
Right.
So thank you so much, Brian Kinney. Congratulations on last year.
I appreciate it.
And
thank you.
Good luck. I'm sure Barry next year will be here because we've seen the deck is stacked.
Yeah, I'll see you next year.
Thank you so much. And thanks to all our guests, Daniel Lee, Amy LeJoie, and Brian Kinney. Well, we've made it to the moment of truth. It is time for the big show to begin. Congratulations to all of this year's nominees, and thanks to Location Managers Guild International for allowing me, Jim Cashman, to warm up the crowd and interview these great guests. It is now my pleasure to welcome you all to the 8th Annual Location Managers Guild International Award ceremony. Please welcome your host, actor, former football wide receiver, the star of Shadowhunters and It Chapter 2, but most of all, the man your man could smell like. Please welcome the brilliant, the iconic, the fragrant Isaiah Mustafa.
Thank you, Jim. Good to see you again. Good evening, my friends. It is my pleasure to be back as your host for the 8th annual celebration of the Location Managers Guild International. The number 8 is the symbol of infinity. It represents the constant flow of energy and power. It is said by numerologists to be the symbol of excessive pleasure. Put that all together and, well, here I am. When we met a year ago, we were in the midst of the strangest year of our lifetimes. The show was virtual. No people, no parties, no pants. This year, the nominees will be online, but in real time. So they'll be able to accept their award the minute we all learn the winner. Another reason things keep getting better is thanks to sponsors like our friends at Real Health for keeping us safe in this studio. Good luck to each and every nominee. During a year when no one could go anywhere, the men and women of Location Managers Guild International suited up and went to work. Tonight, you'll see the results of the amazing job they did. We'd like to thank our platinum sponsors, Ontario Creates, Riverside County Film Commission, and Studio Air Conditioning. And now, I know after such an unpredictable year, you have only one question. Has any man ever looked that perfect in a tux? I'll break the suspense. No. So let's begin. Celebration number 8. Please welcome the president of LMGI, John Rakich.
Thank you, Isaiah. Good evening, or possibly afternoon, or morning, because once more we are sending tonight's 8th annual awards to our membership and colleagues throughout the world virtually. One of the tiny upsides of these impossible times is that in virtually celebrating last year's awards, it resulted in the largest audience we've ever had. For all of us who spent months putting the show together, it was an added treat knowing that we could, in real time, welcome members from every continent throughout the globe. And no matter where in the world we watched, we knew we collectively rocked camaraderie, professional pride, and really comfy sweatpants. It's an honor to come before you as your new LMGI president and the first from Canada. International isn't a big enough word for what we do. It's easy to imagine a scene taking place at any spot on the globe, or somewhere in outer space, or in a world that exists in a post-apocalyptic universe. It's another thing to go out there and find it. Every day we make the impossible possible. Over the past 7,852 months of the COVID-19 era, it's been great to see the many strengths of our membership take center stage. With the return to active global production, our membership has taken the lead, explaining the ways the industry has had to adapt to the challenges of a COVID-19 world. Because we've always been first into any production and the last ones out the door, we're the ones who know how to meet and avoid challenges. A nice word for potential disasters head on. That rise in our profile has been rewarded in ways big and small. Recognition by the Motion Picture Academy, being asked to teach international production opportunities, and finally seeing our credits on IMDb. At last, like producers, directors, and screenwriters, we location professionals can proudly log on to IMDb and see how they screwed up our credits. Progress. Tonight, we celebrate the best of who we are. I congratulate all of tonight's nominees. Thanks to our returning host, Isaiah Mustafa, and the host of our pre-show, Jim Cashman. I'd also like to thank tonight's special honorees, Patricia Fay, Anya Fury, Marlee Matlin, and David Yates. And my utmost gratitude to the many members and professionals who spent months making this event a reality. I'd also like to thank our sponsors who made it all possible. We're proud to call you our friends and colleagues. Our platinum sponsors, Ontario Creates, Riverside County Film Commission, Studio Air Conditioning. Our gold level, Film Liaisons in California statewide, Honolulu Film Office, Real Health and Real Security, Trillet Studios, William F. White International, our silver level, Cherokee Nation Film Office, Directors Guild of Canada, Ontario, Film US Virgin Islands, Fresco Film Spain and Portugal, Hollywood Locations, Los Angeles Center Studio, On-Set Disposals, Real Estate Partners, and Real Waste and Recycling. Teamsters Local 399, Zio Studio Services. Our bronze level, Cinespace Film Studios, City of Toronto, Classic Tents and Events, Cool Location Supply Inc., Directors Guild of Canada, British Columbia, HBO Max, Inland Empire Film Services, Pacific Production Services, Pacific Traffic Control, Premier Event Tent Rental, Production Security Services, Savannah Regional Film Commission, Sunset Supplies. Finally, I thank every single one of our members. I encourage you to add LMGI membership to every listing of your credits. If you know location professionals who aren't members, encourage them to join. The Location Managers Guild International is the one place where members at every level of their career can find the people, the answers, the support, and the unity they need. Which is why wherever you are, you might call LMGI the perfect location. Thank you, and on with the show.
We go way back. We were on location together. Time for our first award. Coming to us from London, she's the award-winning location manager for many of the biggest features of the century, including the Fantastic Beast films, The Legend of Tarzan, the Harry Potter films, and Love Actually.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, everybody in California, and good morning to everybody in London. What an honor it is to be here. I'm blessed to present an award to a colleague I cherish, and to do it in the name of one of the Guild's true legends, Eva Monley. Was one of the very first women to work as a location professional. She worked on films directed by such legends as John Huston, David Lean, Otto Preminger, and Steven Spielberg. The award in her name is presented tonight to an industry professional who is a tremendous supporter of the location profession. This year, LMGI has picked the perfect recipient, the brilliant director, producer and writer, David Yates. There aren't enough fantastic things to say about David. Among his many screen successes, 4 Harry Potter films, 3 Fantastic Beasts films, The Legend of Tarzan, and many groundbreaking TV dramas such as The Tichborne Claimant, Sex Traffic and State of Play. Not only are his films beloved by millions around the world, but while making those films, he is one of the most decent and kind men I've ever worked with. A major feature film on location is like an army on the move, and David is the best possible commander. He does what the greatest leaders do. He leads by example. An extremely creative film director, he is also a special collaborator. He loves going on location. It gives him the opportunity to develop his creative ideas. He is always very enthusiastic and is always open to suggestions. According to the Motion Picture Institute, there are 11 qualities needed to make a great film director. I won't list them, but I checked, and David has all of them and many, many more. I love working with him as I admire his seemingly infinite skill, as well as his humility and kindness. I've covered many miles with David in planes, trains, automobiles, and helicopters, and boats. And I've enjoyed every journey apart from the boat journeys, which we both like to forget. They've never turned out very well for us. Professionally, he has given me some of many cherished opportunities and memories, and it is my joy to present something to him. I am honoured to present the 2021 LMGI Eva Monley Award to David Yates.
Thank you very, very much for this amazing award in the name of Eva Monley, a truly inspiring and independent spirit whose footsteps we all follow in, and especially thank you to Sue Quinn for presenting it to me. Sue, you and I have been on many adventures over many years as we've looked for locations for our films, going around the streets of Lisbon, New York, Paris, London, flying down the waterfalls in the Gabon in a helicopter, sailing up beautiful Scottish lochs in boats. Yes, Sue, boats. We've been in lots of boats. What adventures, and thank you for all the amazing places that you've helped find for us and the films that we've made. ultimately what you and your colleagues do is quite magical, I would say. And it's a wonderful combination, I think, of artistry and logistics. And that's what I really love about the locations department, is that you bring those two extraordinary skill sets together. Wonderful eye to find places that express story, and yet the ability to deliver that environment to us, and hundreds of people often, sometimes, on these bigger shows that have to be there to make the movie, and you're able to sort of balance those two important functions. It's a very sort of definition to me of filmmaking, the things that you do for us all. Thank you for the award. It's a real pleasure to receive it, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening tonight.
She starred in the History Channel drama 6, co-starred in The League on FX, and was nominated for 4 Alma Awards for her work on My Name is Earl. She is starring in the upcoming ABC show Queens. Please welcome Nadine Velasquez.
A swirling vortex of planets, oceans, surfers, a bear at the edge of a cliff, life all around us in a pulsating drive. A heartwarming love story about the miraculous life-saving properties of organ transplants. An international Valentine to the joys of finally seeing the world come out of the cocoon of quarantine. The visual assurance that beyond time and space, we have the power to soar into the universe. And the challenges humankind can meet on any number of international athletic fields. Are these new blockbuster movies? Addicting limited series? Are they that one new series everyone is streaming? Nope. They're commercials. This year's 5 nominees feature locations that span our world, our universe, and the infinite powers of our imagination. Let's take a look at the great work of this year's nominees.
Apple Watch Series 6, it already does that. Matt Deloach, Joss Hanwright, Brent Gaffin, and Galadan Nauber. Extra gum for when it's time. Daniela Aguilera, Debbie Castro, Carlos Cofre, and Carlos Simon Santos. Nike Play Nude, Florian Shura, Michael Dennehy, Michael Frick, Travis Diener, Steve Kovacic, and Alistair Vlock. Awareness about organ transplant. Match. Hernan Dalmaso, Jose Varama. Sony, Create the Beyond. Alfred Gislason, Gudfinnur Ymir Hardarson, and Bikir Bibi Gretarsson.
BB and I are honored to present the 2021 LMGI Award for Outstanding Locations in a Commercial. And the winner is Matt Delouch, Joff Hanwright, Brent Gaffin, and Galadan Nauber. For Apple Watch Series 6, it already does that. Congratulations.
Wow, I'm like so surprised. I'm gonna turn my volume down. I'm getting a little reverb, but I'd like to congratulate the other nominees. We share the love of film. We share the love of creating the backdrop and scenes for our commercials. I really do this work with all my heart and soul, and I put everything into it. And this is like an amazing, experience to accept an award. And I just want to thank Brent Gaffin, Joff Hanwright, Galadan Nauber, anyone else that worked in some capacity with locations. I'd also like to thank production company MJZ, director Craig Gillespie, you're a genius, producer Martha Davis, also California Historic Parks, State of California, Sonoma Coast was amazing to work with Joff. Sonoma Rangers were the best. City of Los Angeles, Film LA, Grand Park, Music Center. Production location, Circa Apartments, L&R Auto Parks, Big Bear, PPS, Teamsters, Local 399. I'd like to dedicate this to my family, my wife for putting up with me, my kids, Wyatt, Isabel, Bianca, Mom, Dad, Natalie, my BFFs, Claudine, Afshin, Rosalind. I love you all. And lastly, the LMGI. Thank you for the recognition. You guys are doing an amazing job, and you're so important to us. So thank you. So much gratitude. Thank you, everybody.
Now they're all feeling the love for commercials. Let's take a quick look at those fantastic sponsors who support LMGI and who make tonight possible.
The future of film and TV production is in Ontario. We've expanded our studio space to 3.9 million square feet. We've built virtual production sets, Canada's largest backlot, and an unparalleled workforce. Our Ontario green screen program ensures a more sustainable industry. We are Ontario, and we're ready to roll.
Congratulations to all of the LMGI Awards finalists. You all did a great job. And a big thanks for every location professional for your commitment to excellence across the globe.
Welcome to Studio Air Conditioning. We're a rentals and sales company specializing in portable air conditioning, heating, and power equipment. Our clients come to us tired of dealing with corporations with late deliveries and disorganized on-site rigs. We have handpicked our management and sales team who specialize in customer service first, and our experienced on-site technicians make sure to take special care with every install. Give us a call today and let us show you why our reputation stands apart from the rest.
Coming to the stage is one of the stars of NBC's highly anticipated new show, La Brea. It's about a contemporary Los Angeles that becomes an apocalyptic dystopia of death and destruction caused by a giant sinkhole that viciously sucks people, cars, and buildings into an unknown chasm near the La Brea tar pits. In truth, not the worst drive I've ever had along the Wilshire Corridor. He's an award-winning actor known for his work on Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Chicago Justice. So naturally, tonight, he comes to us from New York. Please welcome John Seda.
Thank you, Isaiah, and thank you, location managers. I hope you're watching La Brea on NBC. I mean, it is one wild ride. We've been filming entirely in Australia, and I want to make sure to thank our location management team, Jordan Smith, Chris J. Ward, and Shay Paulin for the amazing work they've done on this series. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This year's nominees in the category of contemporary television are as visually thrilling as they are dramatically breathtaking. Whether it's one American family on the run from the U.S. government on a horrific chase through Mexico, or a clever criminal whose complex felonies make him a charismatic contemporary Robin Hood. The continuing revolution against the totalitarian regime in Margaret Atwood's Gilead, or an American fantasy drama based in Spain about the ancient order of the cruciform sword, or a non-political cartoonist forced to face racism and microaggressions that often require his two-dimensional characters to analyze three-dimensional social discord. or the conflicts faced on a Montana cattle ranch between indigenous people and land developers. Let's take a look.
Lupin, Tomas Desambi, and Valerie Segun. The Mosquito Coast, Eric Stainland, Horacio Rodriguez, Bob Lepucki, and Isaias Galicia Morales. The Handmaid's Tale, Anne Richardson and Jeremy Pinard. Warrior Nun, Tati Arias and Kiko Arias. Woke, Kent Sponigal and John Alexander. Yellowstone Season 3, Charlie Skinner and David Zachary Hine.
I am honored to present the 2021 Location Managers Guild International Award for Outstanding Locations in a Contemporary Television Series to Thomas Desambi and Valerie Segun for Lupin. Congratulations.
Okay. Okay, I cannot believe you. It's incredible. Thank you to all of you. I'm sorry for English. Bravo, Valérie, for your work and all the location of the farm. And special thanks for the production for Centros and this great project. We are never alone. So I dedicate this award to all my team, my brother, Doreen and Julian and all the other. Thank you to Paris. Thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You've seen our next presenter in such series as Hemlock Grove and Law & Order SVU, and he brilliantly ruled the alternate universe West Coast in Amazon's The Man in the High Castle. Please welcome Joel De La Fuente.
Good evening. In a year of isolation, audiences especially loved living vicariously through the brilliant locations that brought so much to these critically acclaimed series. Snowfall recreated Los Angeles in 1983 and brought to life the fascinating evil that caused the first crack epidemic. Ratched lived in a Technicolor world of madness, stylishly presenting the origin story of a legendary film villain, Nurse Ratched of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The Nevers reimagined a sci-fi tinged London populated with the touched, people with wild abnormal powers on a mission to change the course of humanity. The fourth season of Fargo, set in 1950 Kansas City, follows two feuding crime families as their jockeying for control examined questions of racial equality, family loyalty, and a radical concept to upend the American economy, the credit card. The Crown was the lush and lovely continuing story of everyone's favorite Kardashians in the castle. And Bridgerton's British landscapes and stately homes were so breathtaking, they enticed audiences to periodically look away from the extreme eye candy that was the cast. Let's take a look.
Bridgerton, Paul Tomlinson. Fargo, Season 4, Nick Rafferty. Crown, Season 4, Mark Wallach, Tati Arias. Snowfall, Season 4, Manny Padilla and James Gierman. The Nevers, Jethro Enzor and Elena Vakirtsis. Ratched, Robert Folks and Adam Robinson.
We are honored to present the 2021 LMGI Award for Outstanding Locations in a Period Television Series to Mark Wallach and Tati Arias for The Crown Season 4. Congratulations.
Okay, go ahead and speak. Go ahead and speak.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead and speak.
I have to speak now? Hello? Hello? It's a huge honor to be here, and all the nominated, and congratulations to all the nominated. I had to thank to Simon, the showrunner. I had to thank Zach, the producer. I had to thank Peter Welter from Fresco Film, and thanks to them, they are always supporting us. And we did a great job. We were shooting all in Malaga, in a city and the province of Malaga, in Seville and Cordoba, and we could show all the life in Malaga, and in a great monument like the cathedral. And
You're watching the Location Managers Guild.
Our forgotten department.
You're watching the Location Managers Guild International Award.
Every year, LMGI recognizes a member of the Hollywood community who, in their own way, goes above and beyond in the service of others. We've now come to the presentation of the 2021 Location Managers Guild International Humanitarian Award.
You're the girl with the deaf family? Everyone but you?
Yeah.
And you sing. Interesting.
Why is it always about you? I can't stay with you for the rest of my life.
Coda, rated PG-13.
An Emmy, a Golden Globe, and a Satellite Award are just a few of the honors she's won for her work on shows like The Practice and films like Happiness. She also appeared in Sign the Show, Deaf Culture and Access and Entertainment. To present this year's LMGI Humanitarian Award, please welcome Cameron Manheim.
Good evening. I am so thrilled to be here tonight to celebrate my dear friend Marlee Matlin and present her with tonight's Humanitarian Award. I have read on more than one occasion that Marlee Matlin is considered a woman with a lot of class. And after spending 5 months sharing a Broadway dressing room with her, I am here to wholeheartedly disagree. And she knows exactly what I mean. Marlee also has an incredible sense of humor, which is why I know her reaction to that joke, truth, is one of laughter and great joy, which I guess I must say, after all, is kind of classy. We all know that Marlee is a great artist, a great actor, and a great visionary. She proved this at the age of 21 when she became the youngest performer to win an Academy Award for Best Actress for her work in Children of a Lesser God. For me, as a young acting student and a student of sign language, it was one of the most inspiring and galvanizing performances I had ever seen. I vowed I was going to work with her one day. And after 10 years of stalking her, I mean, not literally, just figuratively, how lucky for me that not only did we do a Broadway show together, work on the ABC show, The Practice, and do countless charity events together, along the way, we became friends and confidants. Marlee is also a great mom, a great friend, and as tonight's honor will attest, a great humanitarian. But if I had to sum her up in one word, Marlee Matlin is a badass, a supreme badass. When she was asked to star in Apple TV's film Coda, which means a child of deaf adults, Marley made it clear that the cast had to be comprised of deaf actors. And at first, Hollywood fell back on its oldest excuse. This couldn't be done because there weren't enough name actors in the deaf community. But rather than sparring with the producers and arguing, well, there can't be famous actors from the deaf community if no one ever gives them an opportunity to show how brilliant they are, she just cut right to the chase. If they wanted her in the film, they needed to cast it authentically and use deaf actors. And now, as Coda is poised to take home a truckload of awards this season, she once again has broken the barriers and shined a light on humanity. For Marley, activism is a way of life. She doesn't merely just open doors, she kicks them down. That commitment has given birth to an entire generation of activists and done so much for badly needed diversity and inclusion, both on camera and behind the scenes. I will never forget when Marley guest starred on The Practice and she played a woman who was being tried for murder. I played her defense attorney. And David Kelly had written a scene where we had this very passionate argument about what plea she was going to enter. It was written that I would sign and speak simultaneously so that the audience would know what was going on in the scene. And Marley came up with this brilliant idea to just use sign language and no words, no captions, no nothing. Just two passionate women using sign language to have a profoundly painful and life-altering conversation. She believed that even though people couldn't understand the sign language, they would be able to understand the story and her fight for justice. And also maybe give hearing people a little taste of what it's like to watch a TV show and not know what the actors were saying. Well, David Kelly, he reworked that scene and it resulted in two actors on network television communicating solely by signing, just another one of her firsts. And I might add, she was nominated for an Emmy for her outstanding performance. And her humanitarianism, it doesn't stop there. It reaches far beyond her own community. She supports so many charities and is such a global citizen who makes a ginormous difference in our world. I have one last story for Marley, but it's really just for her. It is a privilege, it's an honor to present the 2021 Location Managers Guild International Humanitarian Award to the Queen of Badassiness, Marlee Matlin.
Thank you, Cameron, for that lovely introduction. You are a true and dear friend of the deaf community, and I am so proud to have had numerous opportunities to work with you over the years. So much fun. Thank you to the Location Managers Guild International for bestowing on me the Humanitarian Award. Your commitment towards building strong relationships between production industries and government, business and communities, and upholding the highest ethical standards and promoting indispensable collaborations through innovative programs is very much in line with the philosophy that guides me as an actor, producer, and activist who is deaf. It was only through understanding as a young 19-year-old girl in my first film and realizing very quickly that there were plenty of barriers for someone like me, that so much more could be achieved if I worked together with actors, producers, or content providers to see beyond what people thought I couldn't do and instead achieve equity. I cannot emphasize enough that collaboration, combined with a never-ending quest for creativity, of thinking outside the box, has been the key to my success in this industry. In the end, I and many of my partners have dreamed big, opened up new, sometimes never before thought of avenues for artistic expression. For me, it all began growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, where I was fortunate to understand about the importance of inclusion and mutual respect from my parents. Rather than accept the limitations that society put on their daughter as a person who was deaf, they encouraged me to see beyond the naysayers and only see the possibilities. When I expressed a desire to be an actor at 8, they set out avenues where I could dream big without handicaps. And that came in the form of the International Center on Deafness and the Arts, a performing arts center located just a few miles from our home. ICODA, as it was called, wasn't your ordinary theater. Instead, it was where children who were deaf and their hearing siblings were welcome to experience theater and perform on stage together. Everyone at ICODA dreamt big, but in my case, in true Matlin style, it was huge. So huge that it was in the form of meeting a friend and mentor for life, Mr. Henry Winkler. When Henry came to visit our center while on a charity visit to Chicago, I made sure that I took that Matlin desire to break down barriers, and I told him that I wanted to be an actor just like him. To anyone else, that might have been surprising, even shocking, but not to Henry Winkler. He knew full well what overcoming barriers was all about. You see, Henry struggled with reading at a young age with undiagnosed dyslexia. But despite the doubts of his teachers and his parents, he followed his heart and his dreams, and as we all know, went on to achieve greatness. Without any hesitation, he told me right then and there at ICODA that I could be whatever I wanted to be if I followed my heart, just like he did. And true to Henry's prediction, 8.5 years later, I was standing on a stage with an Academy Award in my hand, not only as one of 4 actresses to receive this honor for their debut film, but also the first person who was deaf and the youngest to receive the award for Best Actress. It was a manifestation of my dreams, but it also laid the groundwork for millions of children who were deaf or who had a disability and who ached to achieve their dreams despite the barriers. And when critics cited my victory on Oscar night as the result of a pity vote, and that my win was not deserved because I was a deaf person in a deaf role, it was Henry once again who understood the importance of pushing through doubts, coming up with creative solutions, and ultimately triumphing in the end. As Henry said, quoting Herzl, "If you will it, it is not a dream." Well, as Henry, as friend and mentor, has been a godsend for me, there is an organization that is near and dear to my heart, which has served as a fountain of support and talent for many actors who are deaf, and that is the Tony Award-winning theater company, Deaf West Theater, based here in Los Angeles. If you're familiar with my most recent film, Coda, which I'm proud to say won the most ever awards for a film at this year's Sundance Film Festival, you would have seen 2 actors, Daniel Durant and Troy Kotzer. Both Daniel and Troy are products of Deaf West. Not only was I fans of both of them in their productions at Deaf West, I was proud to have had the opportunity to work with them before we worked on Coda together. Troy on CSI New York, and Daniel on Freeform's Switched at Birth, and in the Deaf West Theater Tony Award-winning revival of Spring Awakening on Broadway. In the same way, my parents, Ikoda and Henry helped me foster a dream within me and gave me the tools to explore a career without barriers, so too does Deaf West do it for Troy, for Daniel, and many others. I am certain that without Deaf West, there would be no wonderful journey of the Rossi family you see in Coda, or many other actors, deaf actors, trying to break into Hollywood. Mentorship, collaboration, authenticity in representation, and most importantly, access are all important ingredients in how film and television can not only tell stories successfully, but do it with equity. Remember, as people who are deaf or who have a disability, we represent 20% of the population, yet on screen, we are represented less than 5% in roles. And of that 5%, only 5% are actually performed by persons who are deaf or who have a disability. It is time to look at playing a deaf actor or one who has a disability not as a costume for an able-bodied actor to put on. Instead, let's hire hundreds of actors who are deaf or who have a disability because the talent is there. In the same way that Location Managers Guild International encourages creativity in the use of filming locations to enrich character and enhance the narrative, casting authentically, as in my case, in sign language with 1-inch high subtitles can be a wonderful and audience-pleasing thing. In the end, it's about operating fearlessly and without any thoughts to barriers. You know, I've often said that despite the fact that people think that just because I'm deaf, I live in a world of silence, but thanks to the encouragement of people like Henry Winkler, to the collaborative efforts of organizations like ICODA and Deaf West Theater, and most importantly, to the camaraderie of actors who are deaf or who have a disability, silence is the last thing the world will ever hear from me and from all of us. As you can see by the achievements in innovation of the Location Managers Guild International, the same is true for all of you. Thank you for being a partner in collaboration, creativity, and inclusion. And most importantly, for thinking outside the box and making dreams come true. Thank you, and God bless.
We loved her in Lovers. And while she starred for 7 seasons on Pretty Little Liars, tonight, she'll speak the truth. Please welcome Leslie Farah.
Last year, we introduced a new category, awarding superior locations work for the production of limited series, serials, or anthology programs. In any normal year, these 6 shows would have been eagerly talked about and rewarded for some of the best television produced. But as we all know, there was nothing normal about 2020. And as millions stayed home, spending the day in sweatpants, looking for something to stream, fantastic, addictive shows like this were lifesavers. These brilliant stories, so visually brought to life by location professionals, gave us something to look forward to. Whether we were metaphorically hanging out with Liza at Studio 54, examining a murder in a Pennsylvania township, tracking a killer in South Asia, following the heart-stopping tension of runaway slaves determined to make their way to freedom in the 19th century South, watching a brilliant young woman make her move on and off the chessboard, and following the post-apocalyptic results of a runaway pandemic that escapes from a military biological research station. Where do they come up with such ideas? Let's take a closer look at our nominees.
Mayor of Easttown, Brian O'Neill. Steve Stephen King's The Stand, Matt Palmer, Courtney Ashford, Mitchell Gutman. The Queen's Gambit, David Pieper, Stefan Woloki, Matt Graver, Fred Camping. Alston, Christopher Britton, Amanda Foley Burbank. The Underground Railroad, Allison A. Taylor and Angie Morrison. The Serpent, Oj Udumson Aram and Thitikorn Sriborsut.
We are honored to present the 2021 Location Managers Guild International Award for Outstanding Locations in a Limited Series, Serial, or Anthology to... The Queen's Gambit. Please welcome David Pieper, Matt Graver, and Stefan Williams.
Good job. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Thank you, LMGI, for this great event. Thank you, and thanks for the hardest working location department in Germany. Mario, Steve, Dimi, Daniel, Enzo, thank you very much. And big shout outs to the head of scouting, Stefan Wödecke. Thank you. And last but not least, thanks to our families for our big support. My wife, Anya, Ella, my kid, and Anton and Oscar, my kids. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening. Greeting from Berlin, Germany. Thank you. Thank you.
He's an award-winning executive producer, writer, director, and showrunner. Please welcome Jeff King.
Thank you to the members of the LMGI watching tonight for the honor of presenting this Lifetime Achievement Award to a location manager whose career and accomplishments are the stuff of legend here in Toronto, and who is one of my heroes in our industry. I first met Anya Fury in the lobby of the Toronto Film Office in 1982 or 3, where I had been sent to pick up a permit for an upcoming shoot. When she called a few months later to offer me a job on her feature head office, I hopped at the chance. Anya became my mentor as a location manager, as she has done with so many over her distinguished career. I learned a tremendous amount from her about how to select, contract, and manage a location. What was most obvious to me is crews loved Anya and respected how she did her job, and I benefited from seeing why and how. She was also a very proud, vocal spokesperson for Shooting Toronto. Here's a photo of Anya and I in the mid-1980s up on a crane, properly harnessed, of course. As I remember, we were promoting Toronto as a great location to shoot a movie, and she had convinced the producers to support the film office by using the shoot that day for the promotion. The Toronto skyline we looked out at from that vantage has changed, but Anya's reputation as a taste-making, hardworking, responsible, caring location manager has remained as consistent as her patient good nature. She's also a total fashionista. Did I mention Anya is famous for her hats? When a few years later, as a new series UPM, I begged Anya to come and work for me. I'm certain that photo was taken in a young UPM's moment of deep logistical angst, and Anya was about to deliver the perfect solution. 5 seasons later, the relationships we formed on that series built the foundation of a team that worked together and apart, producing groundbreaking, award-winning Made in Toronto series, including Night Heat, ENG, Due South, and many more. Anya is truly a person about whom I can say, I'm a better person for knowing you, I'm grateful for your friendship, and I benefit from your talent every day. You could not have selected a better person to receive this award, therefore, and I am very grateful to be here today to celebrate her. And now I would like to introduce Director Art Hindle.
Hello, everybody, and hi, Anya. I wore my special ENG outfit today, just for you, my Mike Fennell outfit, because that's when I met Anya. back in 1989 when we started shooting the very successful series ENG. And that was probably well into her first decade as a location manager. She was probably, starting in 1980, the first and maybe only female location manager at the time. So she was our location manager, and every location she found just seemed to create an extra character into the story. And we won the Best Series Award for 5 years in a row, and locations were a big part of that excellence. She was always the consummate pro and a delight to work with. She raised 3 children the whole time and always found time to mentor and friend people coming up. She helped shepherd many of today's location managers. So I find it a great honor at this time to present the 2021 Location Managers Guild International Lifetime Achievement Award to our friend and a wonderful person, Anya Fury. Cyber hugs, Anya. Love you.
I am thrilled to receive this remarkable honor from the LMGI and immensely grateful to their selection committee for choosing me for this Lifetime Achievement Award 2021. After nearly 4 decades in film, this is the highlight of my career. I'm going to give you a little bit of history. So my first feature film was non-union, Prom Night, and I soon learned that you had to go out on your own and figure out what you had to do besides looking for locations. My second show was a union show entitled The Littlest Hobo, and I was on that show for 5 seasons with the wonderful Nabeck crew, and that was followed by my first union feature film entitled Head Office with a wonderful IATSE crew. Gosh, I was learning fast. Location managing was a relatively new category within the Directors Guild, of which I've been a member for 42 years. And you basically had to wing it, and you used your common sense, and you learned to cope every day with whatever came your way. Then as your skills developed, you learned to break down scripts, meet with producers, directors, and production designers to obtain their vision, and you hopped in your car with your camera, your notebook and pen, and lots of quarters for the public payphones. Eventually, mistakes were made, of course, and you never repeated them. And you became the face of the production for the general public. You became the problem solver. And basically, you found the locations that were required. To the producers, directors, and production designers whose vision helped guide our search for that perfect location and allowed our creative contribution to get to the screen. Thank you. To all the film crews I worked with who were so professional and respectful of locations and friendly to the locations owners who'd wave goodbye as we'd leave and say, come back anytime. I thank you. To our Film Commission, the Ontario Film Commission, now known as Ontario Creates, to the Toronto Film Commission, and all film offices throughout our province, Ontario, thank you for keeping that welcome mat out to all productions. Naish McHugh, our first Toronto Film Commissioner, his first day on the job and his first phone call was me asking to put a car over the Scarborough Bluffs. Well, Naish and I developed an understanding and trust over many years. Thank you, Naish. Special mentions must go to Ken Girardi and Don McCutcheon, who were first ADs on The Littlest Hobo, and to Michael Zeman, former actor and first AD on Head Office, and to Jim Kennedy, who was an IATSE transport coordinator. God rest his soul. To these 4 gentlemen, they contributed to my education as to the needs of the production while on the road. I thank you. To Jeff King, who was my partner in locations on Head Office in 1985, who later became a PM and now an established producer. Jeff and I spent a total of 15 years over many productions. Just a wonderful gentleman. And he also introduced me to Sonny Grosso, a very special individual who was the New York cop who broke the French Connection. He's now residing in the precinct in the sky. Sonny will never be forgotten. And to Chris Danton, who has been with me through thick or thin over the past 40 years. Chris is now a producer. Thank you all. And now to those of you who made me look at my location teams, there were many. Thank you all for your hard work, your dedication, your understanding, your creative talents, and for your trust in me. And especially to Doug Tell, who spent many years by my side and contributed so much. All of you are the reason I am receiving this award. I am indebted to all of you, and I thank you from my heart. To my family for putting up with the long hours and the absence, but I have one daughter, Cleona, who went into the biz, so now she gets it. I love you all and thank you. For Claudia Braden from the Fairmont Royal York Hotel in Toronto, thank you for hosting this today. And now to the founders of this wonderful organization, who in 2003 operated as the Location Managers Guild of America, and in just 10 short years in 2013 became an international organization, who has brought to the forefront the creative contribution that location managers and their teams contribute to the big picture. To our current president, John Rackage, and former presidents, to our current board and former boards, thank you very much for opening the line of communication between all members worldwide. I'm a big fan, and I'm very honored to receive this award.
He's currently filming the last season of NBC's smash series, This Is Us. I know, I'm gonna miss it too. We also loved him on Hacks, Modern Family, and his 5 seasons starring on the FX critically acclaimed dark comedy, You're the Worst. But he's the best. Please welcome Chris Gere.
When a location professional heads off to scout, no matter where in the world they land, it is certain that the first thing they're going to do is connect with that area's film commission. They're our friends, they're our allies, and they're also the experts who have answers to infinite amount of questions and solutions to countless dilemmas that may pop up. This year's nominees truly have gone well above and beyond. The Bath Film Office managed to film more than 70 scenes across more than a dozen iconic locations to create the opulent world of Bridgerton. The Estonian Film Institute, Film Estonia, helped a 7-acre concrete structure built for the 1980s Olympics and bring it back to life to serve as the perfect spot for the breathtaking opening of Tenet. Liverpool's Film Office had a unique challenge facilitating filming and coordination of a wealth of cinematic locations for the 3rd season of Tin Star Liverpool. For the Umbrella Academy, Hamilton's Music and Film Office closed 6 blocks of arterial road to recreate the feeling of Dallas in 1964 that were used to stage scenes of civil rights riots and a military invasion. And Savannah's Regional Film Commission helped turn back time in order to recreate the 19th century plantations, swamps, fields, rivers and woods needed for the Underground Railroad. Let's take a closer look.
Savannah Regional Film Commission. Estonian Film Institute, Film Estonia. Bath Film Office. Queensland, Australia. Liverpool Film Office. Hamilton Music and Film Office.
We are honoured to present the 2021 LMGI Award for Outstanding Film Commission to the Savannah Regional Film Commission. Please welcome Beth Nelson.
Oh, yeah, Beth. Thank you so much. I am just thrilled to accept this honor for the Savannah Regional Film Commission. As a former location manager, this really does mean a lot to me. I would like to thank my team. I have an incredible team. Katie Shook, who just had a baby this week. Andy Young, who was instrumental in scouting, in the initial scouting to land the show in Savannah. Renee Leventis and Ralph Singleton. I would like to say a very special thank you to Allison Taylor and her entire location team. She is just amazing, a pleasure to work with, so talented and very collaborative. And we just had a wonderful relationship and enjoyed the whole process with Allison. I'd also like to thank Barry Jenkins for bringing this beautiful show to Savannah and believing that he could make it work in our city. And then I would like to thank the mayors and council of the city of Savannah and all of the incredible employees there, from the permitting office to police, traffic engineering, all of those departments that really made this possible to pull it off. So thank you very much.
You're watching the Location Managers Guild International Awards.
He's an Oscar nominee and an award-winning production designer and art director. Please welcome Jim Bissell.
Let's start with Trailblazer, which was defined for me by the LMGI as, quote, a leader in a particular field, forging paths and developing techniques to be used by those who follow, end quote. Well, LMGI has picked a perfect recipient for their 2021 Trailblazer Award, my dear friend and colleague, Patricia Fay. She's absolutely a leader in her field. She was one of the first women to make a mark as a world-class location manager, and she has physically blazed many a trail in her chosen profession. Happily, I've blazed a few with her in our long friendship, which started 35 years ago in the Pacific Northwest on Harry and the Hendersons for Universal, and continued with Steven Spielberg's Always in 1988. She's a perfect combination of someone ridiculously great at what she does and combining respect and kindness to all her colleagues with a steely-eyed focus on the task at hand. She's a top-notch negotiator who understands the infinite number of sensitivities that come with any location. She's strong, smart, never pushy, whether she's dealing with a government bureaucracy or a worried family signing over the use of their house for a month. And while no one has the prescience to foresee all the challenges that seem to spring out of nowhere in our business, Patricia never hides from a problem and is usually the first to come up with a solution. Her positive spirit is an example to us all, and I have always admired and attempted to imitate the nimble way she handles jerks, or people who aren't behaving very well, with her own special velvet hammer. As a production designer, I spend a lot of time driving around with location managers. And with Pat, it was always a joy, whether it was by harvesting sorrel mushrooms while scouting burned forests, or chasing last light in the Cascade Mountains for one final shot before going back. And I've always been impressed with her dedication and her determination. But I've also cherished discovering what a dynamic, funny, and fascinating person she is. She's up for anything to find a perfect location. And I remember the two of us taking snowmobiles through some backwoods. It was rugged terrain and with deep snow. And I can still see her stepping off the snowmobile to get the shot and instantly disappearing into 6 feet of soft snow. She was okay. That particular scout occurred during the height of winter, looking for locations that we'd need in the spring after the melt. And even when completely covered in snow, she managed to find exactly what would work when the snow melted. She's mentored many of the best in the business, and I hope the next generation of women out to make their mark in the industry know that she helped them long before their moment in time, simply by being brilliant at what she did. I love her, and I miss her, and I am honored to present the 2021 LMGI Trailblazer Award to my friend, Patricia Fay. Congratulations, Patricia.
Thank you all so much. It's something to be called a trailblazer. I didn't enter this profession with the intention of bringing about radical change. I just wanted to work. And I was too busy to realize that location managers seem to always be men. How nice that today that sounds so ridiculous. Then I joined the Teamsters. You can imagine how many women were there in the 70s. That said, my Teamster brothers were supportive and friendly and made it easier to deal with all those who felt a woman didn't belong in my job. I didn't have a master plan. One job led to another, and I'm very grateful to the wonderful people who believed in me, like Dick Vane, who hired me for a Steven Spielberg film, and Jim Bissell, and Lauren Schuler Donner, who gave me the fun of working on the Free Willy movies. I'd also like to thank my very last employer before I retired, my son, Bill Fay, executive producer of The Patriot. I love working locations, love finding them, knowing I'm the first one in and the last one out, and being able to train other women like Vicki Berglund Davenport, who nominated me. Occasionally, I'd also find a promising young man and help teach him what others had taught me, like the firefighter in Montana, Mike Fantasia. I'm happy knowing that today talented women are at the top of my field. Inclusivity makes the guild stronger. To my friends, my coworkers, my colleagues, to everyone who ever helped me get my name on a call sheet, and anyone who trusted me to take a mammoth film crew into their home, all I have to say is thank you. This is an honor I'll cherish.
We've made it to tonight's final two awards. And hey, did I mention we love our sponsors? Here's why.
There is a place where great stories are made. We are a community built by and for makers, thinkers, and dreamers. Here, craft is the pulse of everyday life. We are the gateway to inspiration. We are Trilith.
He starred in Fuller House, Guardians of the Galaxy, and has been in Canada filming the holiday movie, A Christmas Contest. No spoilers, but if I were a betting man, I'd put the smart money on his character winning. Please welcome John Brotherton.
Thanks, Isaiah. I want to give a big thank you to our location team in Vancouver. Not only did they find us a big, beautiful family farm to shoot the film, but they also supplied our company with a magical respite from our year of COVID. This year's nominees in the category of period film. Oh, wait just a minute. This year's nominees in the category of period film. By the way, I'm going to go full-out Brit here because these films are always kind of distinguished British dramas, and I want to show Hollywood that I'm ready. I mean, Cumberbatch and Elba can't get every job, can they? Here we go. This year's nominees are for locations in great tradition of fine British drama. Films like Mank. No, well, that took place in Hollywood in 1940, so, okay, well. Like the British masterpiece, Dreamland. No, that was Texas in the 30s. But there's The Trial of the Chichester 7. No, that was Chicago 7. Oh, and of course, the unforgettable Judas and the Black Messiah. Also Chicago in the 60s. Well, Enola Holmes. British! That one was British! Well, let's take a look at what. Pip, pip.
Trial of the Chicago 7. Nick Rafferty, Dennis Losco. Judas and the Black Messiah, Bill Garvey and Tim Kinney. Mank, William Doyle, Walter Roshetsky. Enola Holmes, Bill Darby, Jess McDonald. Dreamland, Ashley Valdez and Clay DeVelvis.
We are honored to present the 2021 LMGI Award for Outstanding Locations in a Period Film to Bill Garvey and Tim Kinney for Judas and the Black Messiah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First, I wanted to thank my wife, Carol, and my daughter, Sarah, for putting up with the long 16-hour days. I want to thank Warner Brothers, the city of Cleveland. We filmed this in Cleveland. Shaka King, Sam Lysenko, Sean Bobbitt, Ryan Coogler, Ravi Mehta, Charles King, Ted Gidlow, and my team, my locations team, Brian Eiler, Jane Streeter, Ryan Shaw, Tim Johnson, J.R. Myers, Max Eberly, Tim Kinney, who's on with me right now, Tyler Grano, John Thomas, Robert Thomas, and since Shaka, Sam, and I all were raised by parents who were teachers, I want to thank teachers for reminding us all the importance of learning from the history and those that came before us, and to LMGI for putting a spotlight on what we do and the work that we do. Thank you so much.
He's an actor of extraordinary range. Just a few of his award-winning stage roles include Malcolm X and the lead in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He's appeared in dozens of feature films, and for 9 seasons, he's starred in NBC's hit series The Blacklist. Please welcome Harry Lennox.
Thank you, Isaiah, and congratulations to all of tonight's nominees. As an actor, I've been fortunate to work with great writers and directors. The excitement begins the minute you first get the script and dive into your character. Rehearsals are a terrific opportunity to explore the world of the piece, but it's never real until you step onto that first location. Suddenly, the world of the story, the one that's always been a bit of a hypothetical, snaps into focus. The 9th season of The Blacklist debuted this week on NBC, and after more than 174 episodes, I'm convinced that we've created a better, more convincing Washington, D.C. than the real one, although admittedly that's not a wildly high bar to exceed. The accomplishments of this year's nominees in the category of contemporary film show remarkable depth and scope. Each began with an idea and discovered a fully dimensional world. Let's take a closer look.
A Quiet Place Part 2, Mara Alkali, Joe Mulaney, and John Hutchinson. Nomadland, Nathan D. Harrison. Tenet, Janice Pauly, Julie Hannum, Klaus Derelman, Enrico Latella, Colin McDougall, and Amanda Stevens. Black is King, Jason Wish, and Vincent Fani. Concrete Cowboy, Christopher Gormley, and Stacey Hagenbaum.
I am honored to present the 2021 Location Managers Guild International Award for Outstanding Locations in a Contemporary Film to Janice Pauly, Julie Hannum, and Klaus Derelman for Tenet.
Oh boy. Hello everyone. It's a great honor to accept this award for Janice Pauly and the location team in 7 different countries. Janice is currently away filming in Peru, but she'd like me to give special thanks to the location managers, Klaus Derelman, there, Enrico Latelle, Colin McDougall, Amanda Stevens, Julie Hannum, and she'd also like me to give special thanks to Christopher Nolan for the venture around the world. And thank you everyone for being here tonight. And thank you to LMGI. Thanks.
That's our show. I raise a glass to all tonight's winners, nominees, presenters, and sponsors. Here's hoping next year we're all in a great location together. Till then, cheers. Locations, where am I going?